Hello beautiful souls, and welcome back to Little Flames Oracle. My name is Trixie, and these two here are called Honey and Malt, who are kindly holding your cards today. So today I am using the Ukiyo Tarot deck, as well as the Starseed Oracle deck, and the Enchanted Blossoms Oracle deck as well. So if you like any of the decks that I use in these readings, the names of them will be in the description box. I also get all of my decks on Amazon, so they should be relatively easy to obtain. However, I do not leave the links to Amazon in the description box because I do worry about what YouTube says about that. Anyway, if this reading found you today, remember to take only what resonates with you. This could be all of the message, but if something feels misaligned or wrong, please don't force it to fit your story. Just let your inner compass of wisdom guide you, and if you like this reading or feel called to hear more, don't forget to like and subscribe. So, let's begin your reading. Okay, so today's tarot cards are the Devil card, the Nine of Wands, the Three of Wands, the Nine of Cups, the Tower, the Two of Swords, and the Ten of Wands. They're all in an upright position, so some might be positive, some might be negative, but let's just see what we've got so far. Okay, so starting with the Devil card. I know when that card comes along that people tend to get a bit nervous around it. Same with like the Tower and the Death card and all of that. But really it's nothing to worry about. It can actually sometimes mean, in this case the Devil card, it can mean sometimes that maybe you're being manipulated by someone, or you have an addiction to something, or you're puppeteering things, like you're trying to like gain control over something when you should really just let go of control and release, I suppose, control up to the universe or spirit. So that is like the generic meaning of the Devil card, but with this card in particular, I always get like a different message, because the spiritual being that I channel to do these messages really likes this card. And it's because it means something else to them. To them, it means to embrace the dark side of ourselves as well as the lighter side. And what this means is we need a balance of both the negative and the positive emotions. And I was thinking about this yesterday because a lot of people brand the emotion of anger as something really negative that you're not allowed to express. And I always find that to be quite wrong, actually, because anger is an emotion that we are allowed to experience. It should not be discarded away or refused to be expressed. And it's the same with grief or sadness or depression. And in fact, with being depressed, there was something that I think Jim Carrey said in one of his YouTube Shorts videos. He said you should think of depressed as deep rest. And so by looking at it at that point, or at that viewpoint, it starts to become less negative and more on something that we should embrace. So I'm getting specifically anger at the moment, because that one especially seems to be branded as a really negative emotion that we should not feel, that we should just hide away, that we should not let into our lives. But actually, sometimes anger can be justified. Sometimes it could be, somebody's getting away with something. There's injustice going about. You're allowed to be passionately angry about that. You're allowed to be angry at the fact that things are affecting your beliefs, your morals, and your ethics. I think it's ethics or ethics, I can't remember. I think it's probably ethics, actually. But yeah, in this reading, it's basically saying to embrace the negative and the positive, because we need the light and the dark aspects of ourselves to function as a person. If we remain in this toxic positivity, then things become unbalanced and we become delusional. And I think the Devil card is kind of also talking about delusions, as in, it might be that we've spent so many years or a long time in this toxic positivity where we're not allowed to express anything but the positive emotions. We're supposed to remain happy and think positively, and that's how things manifest into existence. But the spiritual being that I connect with is basically saying that's a load of bollocks. And please do excuse the turn of phrase or the words, but yeah, it really is poppycock. I'm so sorry. But we need to express the negative and the positive to remain spiritually and emotionally and even mentally and physically balanced. So balanced in all aspects. So it's really popping out to me, especially with the red background here. You know, red is a colour of anger, of danger, but it can also mean passion as well. So yeah, I'm definitely getting the colour red as well, especially with the red robes here, or even the red flowers in this card, or even like the red sort of sunset, I guess, in the background of the Tower card. I'm being specifically called to the colours red and even like blue as well. If you look at these two cards, there's a nice blue tone to them as well. So yeah, red and blue. I feel like that's the energy of like fire and water, so maybe getting in touch with the elements of fire and water. This could be emotionally balanced as well as spiritually balanced as well. So yeah, definitely I think have a look at the elements and what the colours mean to you. Maybe that could help you in something, like maybe just tap into your intuition. What do you feel? What do the colours mean to you? What do they represent? And even what do the elements represent to you as well? Then moving on to the Nine of Wands. This is actually accompanied with the Tower card and the Ten of Wands. I feel like they're connected at the moment. And actually the Three of Wands as well. Like these four cards are really connected, because at the moment I feel like with the Tower card, the universe is sort of stripping away brick by brick your tower of beliefs and your morals and your ethics, like the things that you hold on to or believe in. I feel like your beliefs are changing at the moment, or something is changing your point of view on something. You're evolving and becoming a more authentic and genuine person, or you're more in touch with who you really are. And so I feel like here with the Nine of Wands, you're kind of still continuing with the older version of yourself. And so whilst the universe is kind of stripping you down to like the bare minimum so we can start over again, you're kind of still holding on to the older version of yourself. And so Spirit is basically saying it's okay to do that at the moment, because it's quite hard to let go of something, to say goodbye to something, to accept change. And I wouldn't even be surprised if in the next reading we get the Death card, because that is always accompanied with change. And I always get it as well with like the Tower card. So yeah, I feel like at the moment the universe is basically saying that with the Three of Wands, things are already in motion. And with the Tower here, it's basically Spirit is... I feel like this is related to the gift that I was talking about in a previous reading, because I talked about a gift, like we were being given a gift from the universe. Don't think of this gift as something physical, like a material possession. Think of it more like the gift of peace, or the gift of self-love and self-care, the gift of quietness, and the gift of being more in tune with yourself, like more intuitive and things like that. So yeah, I feel like here the universe or Spirit is basically saying it's okay to remain in your old self at the moment, but at some point, because things are already set in motion, with the Two of Swords here, you're going to have to make a decision on something, because I feel like that decision actually is more like letting go of your older self and embracing your newer self, because if you don't do that, you're going to remain stagnant. And the more you cling to older versions of yourself and the more stagnant you get, the less likely you are to receive the newer and possibly even better stuff as well. I know sometimes the things that we get sometimes aren't really positive. But again, with the Devil card here, you accept the positive and the negative, because what comes through the negative can actually be positive. You know, it might be that you have to give up on something, which can be seen as a negative, but the result of that is that something new and better comes your way. Or it could be, perhaps there might be a couple more lessons coming your way. Like, say you wanted to love yourself more, and actually this was a lesson that the universe taught me. In order to love myself more, the universe kept on, I suppose, giving me bad relationships, because I really wanted to be in a relationship. I really wanted to, I suppose, experience love and intimacy and things like that. And I was kind of pressured by societal viewpoints. You know, you get a job, you get married, you have children, you retire, you pass away, and it's, you know, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. But the universe, for me, basically said that this is not my path. I am meant to go down a different path. So whilst I was clinging on to the past self and my past values and beliefs of that, you know, societal pressure and beliefs of got to get married, got to have children, the universe says, okay, you can hold on to that belief, but I'm going to keep throwing relationships at you that basically show that these relationships, or relationship in general with like romantic sort of kind, is not meant for me. So I have gone through a long, I suppose, 2 or 3 years of remaining single and actually getting to know myself better and being okay in my own company. And through that time, it has led me to finding my own, I suppose the best way to put it is finding myself, but my own other counterpart I'm getting. Because I feel like when our spirit or our soul, the part of us that is the universe or spirit, is born or created, we're created in pairs, i.e. a masculine and feminine counterpart. And sometimes I feel like a lot of us come to this planet with only one counterpart or one half of who we really are. So in my physical avatar body, I only have my feminine counterpart or my feminine half within me with a bit of the masculine, because everybody has the masculine and feminine energies. But my masculine counterpart is actually with spirit. He refused to come down here on Earth because my masculine counterpart didn't really like Earth that much. And so my masculine counterpart is the one that I communicate with to do these readings. And he really wanted me to talk about that today, so I am just casually mentioning it today. And actually I will definitely do a video on this. I've actually got another channel where I expand on these beliefs and ideas, so if you are interested in that, I will leave a link to it in the description box. It's called Maple Oracle. So it's a similar name to this one. This one's Little Flames Oracle, the other one's Maple Oracle. But yeah, if you're interested in that sort of spiritual stuff, I haven't actually got any videos on the channel yet, but I am close to making videos on that. So yeah, I definitely recommend just popping over there and keeping a lookout for the videos that is to come. You don't have to subscribe or anything to that channel either. That's entirely up to you. If you feel called to it, you know, by all means. But yeah, I'm definitely going to get some videos out there. So continuing with your reading, I feel like with the 10 of Wands here as well, we need to remember that Spirit is always with us. Spirit is always on our side. And with the 9 of Cups here, it's just basically Spirit saying that you are abundantly supplied by Spirit. So you have everything you need to move on, to continue and to become your true authentic self and to step into the newer version of yourself. But you're still kind of holding back, and I think it's due to societal pressures. And so I just want to quickly say on that you are your own person. You were born an original, so please don't die a copy. Now, moving on to your oracle cards. I do apologise, actually this is a much longer reading than usual, but I felt called to say all of this, and so yeah. Oh, by the way, if I stutter occasionally, I do apologise for that as well. yeah, that's come from years of trying to get a word in edgeways by living with a talkative family. So anyway, moving on. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 6 oracle cards. Okay, let's try and concentrate, Trixie. This one's upside down. Okay, that might be relevant actually. I will leave it upside down. Sometimes oracle cards can appear upside down as well, so I always listen to their meanings. Ooh, okay, we've got the Void here. Love this card. So this is Stop, Embrace Winter, Great Cosmic Womb. So yeah, we are entering into winter now. You know, it's December. We got finally some frosty mornings and cold weather, although it is mild actually here in the south of England. I really badly want snow, but I'm only getting rain and rain and more rain. So anyway, it's time to stop what you're doing, embrace winter, enjoy Christmas and Yule, winter solstice, the celebrations that are coming up here. You know, take some time off, just relax and rest at the moment. And the Great Cosmic Womb is basically like the divine feminine energy. So I feel like because this is a sort of male patriarchal society, that's the word I'm looking for, we're kind of stuck in a masculine energy of do, work, action. That's what I like to say. And so now I feel like we're coming into the feminine energy, which is the complete opposite of that. It is coming from a place of constantly doing stuff to just stopping, relaxing and resting. That doesn't necessarily mean that we can do absolutely nothing and become lazy and become entirely, you know, like the toxic femininity and energy and all that. So yeah, I just want to possibly emphasize on that, although I do need to do a little bit more research on that. But yeah, we want to have a balance of the divine masculine and feminine energies within us. And again, the masculine and feminine energies is different to the masculine and feminine counterparts that I was briefly mentioning before. So next card here is the Star Ancestors. This is Hidden Secrets, Lost Wisdom, and Look a Little Deeper as well. So this, I feel, is like ancient ancestral wisdom coming into us. And I feel like because it's next to the Void, we just need to take some time to have some quiet contemplation. So I feel like the answers that you seek will be from the stillness and the quietness. So perhaps spend some time putting on some instrumental music. You know, you've got your earpods or headphones on. Just take yourself away from reality and the news and the social media. Just come away from all of that at the moment and go within. If you're looking for answers at the moment, the best place to find them is within. And actually, because I was about to say bless, I feel like that's a message coming in as well. I feel like we are abundantly blessed, that we have nothing to worry about. And immediately I am drawn to surrender to the sweetness card, which is Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. So yeah, this is an energy of love. And whilst it could mean romantic love and relationships, I feel like this is more self-love, and in other words, loving oneself, being okay in your own company first. Then moving on to this upside down one, I'm drawn to that. It's the Called card. So this is soul gifts and training. It's time to step up. But because this is reversed, I feel like although we've been called by spirit to sort of step up or step into our new life, we're kind of putting that on hold at the moment. And that's not spirit doing that, that's actually our own divine self. We're sort of stopping ourselves from going into the newer version of ourselves. And so things are a bit paused, I'm getting, or stagnant at the moment, but not so stagnant that we become delusional or stuck, I guess. So yeah, I feel like there's still time to choose the right path I'm getting, which is not always what we think it is, which is why the universe or spirit is saying to look within and trust your intuition. Feel where you're supposed to go next. Then the next one we've got We the Hathors. Now, incidentally, I actually got a video recommended on YouTube about the goddess Hathor, who's an Egyptian goddess, and she, I think, is a love goddess as well. And we had another reading of the love goddesses calling out. I had Freya, Aphrodite, Inanna, Ishtar, and now Hathor. So I feel like this is a big love reading, but to love ourselves first. So I feel like there is a lot of love goddesses, or the personifications of love, coming in, and they are going to be helping us today, or actually helping us within our journey to continue, I guess, that self-love journey. So the words at the bottom here are deep love, mother's milk, and birth as a portal. The mother's milk, I feel like, especially with the great cosmic womb here from the void card, I feel like it's the universal spirit saying to not only trust the universe, but I'm getting make a wish, like talk to spirit. What do you want to do? What do you want to achieve in life? If you could have anything and everything, if there was no limitations, what would you do? Then moving on to the blue flame, and we've got the messenger card as well. The blue flame is spontaneous or spontaneous. I cannot pronounce that. Oh, my dyslexia is coming in. I'm so sorry. That word, awakening, activation, and integration time. So I'm getting Kundalini awakening, but I'm also getting spiritual awakening. I feel like some of you have just begun your spiritual awakening, so you've had that sort of light pinging on, but it's basically the starting point of a spiritual awakening. It's the wake-up call I'm getting. You start to question things. Maybe it's caused by like a traumatic event. It could be somebody's breakup or somebody's death that's caused this. I know for me, the start of my spiritual awakening was actually the death of my mother. I was 19 at the time, and I know I'm getting a bit vulnerable at the moment, but that was my starting point, and it was a really big point for me as well, because what was even worse is I went through a really bad breakup 3 months before she died. So it was like one collapse after another. And then I had my 20th birthday as well, which was a week later after my mother died. So that was probably one of the most depressing birthdays I've ever had. But yeah, I definitely feel like this is a wake-up call or a wake-up time for some people. And then lastly, we have the messenger card. So this is Sirius energy, bringing harmony and balance. For those of you who don't know, Sirius is a star. And if you've ever worked with starseeds and light workers and such, starseeds are effectively souls that have reincarnated many times on different planets, realms, dimensions, stars, etc. And so the Sirius energy is saying that now is a time to seek harmony and balance. So it could be balance in your emotions or balance in your life, whichever calls out to you. And the harmony is the moment of rest where we actually get to enjoy life and be ourselves. And then lastly, we've got a couple of oracle cards here. I will read these from the book as well. So the first card we've got is Elegance. Now this says, look for beauty and grace in your everyday life and you will find it. You may see grace in the movements of an artist, in the curve of a flower, or in the innocence of a child. Notice the delicate nobility in motion or sound. Bring elegance into your life through attention to your appearance, the way you carry out tasks, or the way you move through a room. Small touches can enhance the splendor in your life. Brighten a room with flowers, put on beautiful clothing, and eat a meal off the fine china. Adding some elegance to your life will elevate your mood and pull your attention to the beauty around you. So the questions at the bottom we've got are, what is elegant in my life? And how can I bring more elegance to my world? So for these ones, I just read from the guidebook, and then I allow people to use their own intuition and basically feel and think what they resonate with, I suppose, is the right word. So the next card is Generosity. Living generously and helping others can give you a sense of purpose and lead to a longer, healthier life. Be giving with yourself first. Find little things that will lift not only your mood, but your soul. This card may be making an appearance because you've been so wrapped up in the day-to-day grind that you have forgotten to take care of yourself. Commit to doing something that makes you happy every day. This is not about indulging every whim, but doing a few small things that make you feel good without taking anything from others. Once you are giving yourself joy, you can begin sharing it with others. Be altruistic with your money, your possessions, or your time. The more you give, the more you have to give. And the questions at the bottom are, how can I be more generous with myself and others? And what do I have to offer? So at the moment, I feel Spirit is calling me more towards the being wrapped up in the day-to-day grind that we have forgotten to take care of ourselves. So it feels like we should first focus on replenishing our inner well and then think about giving to others, because I feel like we have been in a state of giving so much recently that we now need to be in a state of receiving. And this usually means receiving from the universe or spirit as well. Then lastly, we have the love card, and this says, when this card makes an appearance, it is a reminder not only to delight in others, but to love yourself as well. Adore who you are and what you do. Make sure your actions and thoughts are aligned with love and affection, and it will grow. You do not stumble upon self-love. It is something you cultivate and practice daily. Use only kind words when you think and talk to yourself. Pamper yourself and take yourself out on a date, or schedule some time just for you to do something you enjoy. Devoting time and care to yourself means you will have plenty of love to give and the ability to receive as well. So what did we just talk about? Receiving. I love how these cards all align up with each other. And the question at the bottom that we've got here as well is, how can I better love myself and those around me? Anyway, that's it for today's reading. I do hope it makes sense. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to take care of yourselves. Blessed be.